Hey guys and gals, it's your boy JR, aka Lone Wolf Bushcraft, and welcome to the Lone Wolf Bushcraft After Dark Live. I'm your host JR, aka Lone Wolf Bushcraft, and thanks for tuning in to this live stream. Hope you guys and gals are all doing well out there. And I just got back from Texas Roadhouse, and oh my God, uh, I treated my wife's niece. Uh, she's like 22, and I treated her to Texas Roadhouse. She ordered a bacon cheeseburger, and I just ordered an all American burger, and it was really, really good. Hey, what's up? How's it going, Survival? I'm doing good, man. Hope you're doing good too. So, yeah, I think she ordered a Diet Coke in a. She ordered a cheeseburger with bacon, and then I ordered an all American cheeseburger, and I got a regular Coke. And then for our appetizer, I got two sets of tater skins. They're like baked, really thin baked potato with a layer of cheese and bacon on it, and some ranch dressing. Or no, sour cream. So sour cream for our tater skins. So we had sour cream for our tater skins. Hey, chilling on a Friday night, checking out live streams. Cool, man. Can't go wrong with an All American. That's right. I had an All American burger, and then she had a classic cheeseburger with bacon on it. Man, the bacon was huge. I want to say bacon strips were about that long and were about that fat. So, I mean, hers was a real bacon cheeseburger. It was really cool. But I got the All American burger. I didn't want to have bacon on top of mine because what I did is I ordered my side of fries that comes with the All American burger. I had melted cheese put on my fries with bits of bacon on it, and then the appetizers. I had three things on a combo appetizer. Two of them were tater skins, and the other one was boneless barbecue chicken. So that was pretty good. And then the boneless barbecue chicken came with ranch, and then the thin taters with melted cheese on tip came with sour cream. So that was pretty good. So when we were finished with our dinner, there was still one potato skin left. And then I still had some fries with melted cheese on top left. So I put that in the to-go box. But oh my God, I'm totally full from eating at Texas Roadhouse. When I go there, I normally order a steak. And when she ordered that burger, Texas Roadhouse also makes good burgers as well as steak. And when she ordered that cheeseburger with bacon on it, then that's when I decided to have an all American cheeseburger. I only been there once in Missouri. Oh wow. Well, the one in Indiana is pretty good. I can't speak for the one in Missouri. But the other place, anyways, the prices are pretty fair at Texas Roadhouse whenever you get a steak or a burger. Hey, what's up, Sunny Stormy? I'm talking about my experience. I just got back from Texas Roadhouse. They make good burgers, and they also make good steaks. But tonight we had burgers, and then we shared an appetizer. And then I watched the Pacers. The Pacer game was up on the TV. So we sat in the bar area, and we were watching the Pacers play Washington. I think it's the Washington Wizards. And the Pacers lost. It went into overtime. It was a good game. But I wish the Pacers had won. So yeah, enjoyed my burger and my combination of my combination. There's no Texas Roadhouse here in Washington State. Oh wow, that's what Survival said. There's no Texas Roadhouse here in Washington State. Yeah, like I can't speak for the one in Missouri, but the one in Indiana is pretty good. It's pretty good. And I forgot they also make pretty good burgers. Texas Roadhouse does. But I normally usually order a steak. My favorite Pacers, Reggie Miller. Yeah, he's one of my favorite ones too. That's funny you mentioned Reggie Miller because the Pacers broke up the same time as the Bulls did. Got Coca-Cola Zero Classic. I also got Snapple tea. I got Snapple peach tea, and then I got half tea, half lemonade in this one. But yeah, it's funny you mentioned Reggie Miller because my favorite Pacer team was Reggie Miller was on it. It was Reggie Miller, Rick Smith, Mark Davis, Antonio Davis, and I know I'm forgetting some other ones. But anyways, the Pacers broke up the same time the Bulls did. And I really feel that if the Pacers had stayed together, they probably could have went and made another championship run. So, but unfortunately, the Pacers broke up at the same time the Bulls did, which is a bummer. But, oh well. But the Pacers and Washington game was really close tonight. And I didn't even know they were playing. So I rolled up in Texas Roadhouse, and like I said, they sit us at the bar. And then all of a sudden I realized the Indiana Pacers were playing the Washington Wizards. So that was pretty cool. But like I said, they lost to them in overtime, which was a bummer. But I had a good time. So me and my wife's niece, we went to Texas Roadhouse and we enjoyed our burgers. And I just couldn't believe the size of the bacon. Like I said, the bacon was about that long and about that fat of bacon. It was wild. I was a Supersonics guy, and you know how that went. Oh, okay. It's so funny. Some of the guys and I at work talked about how some teams have tried to buy championships. They'll put a bunch of star players on their basketball team, and then all these star players won't play together as a team, and then they still can't win a championship, even if they buy a bunch of superstars. Oop. So, whoops. So even if they, sorry, I didn't mean to kick that with my foot. So, like I said, it seems like some NBA teams will try to buy, I call it trying to buy a championship. But what's funny is a lot of these, some of these teams will do that. They'll throw a bunch of them, a bunch of superstars on their basketball team, and then they still won't win a championship because the super, everyone wants to take the last shot that's on this team. So sometimes that doesn't work when a NBA team fills up with a bunch of superstars. But I noticed with basketballs or some basketball teams or some championship basketball teams, the ones that seem to thrive the most. Who is the StreamYard link for? Oh, it's for, I made a copy of the link to the clipboard. So anyone that wants to come up can. And then I also occasionally will throw it in the chat in case anybody wants to come up. I'll go ahead and paste it in the chat. So, yeah, the StreamYard links for anyone that wants to come up, and tonight is open chat. So I don't have a specific topic. That's why I started talking about coming back from Texas Roadhouse. So it's open chat night tonight. I'm going to pop up real quick, bro. Cool. Hey, whoops. Before you do, show your face real quick. Cool, man. Sorry about that, bro. Cool. Let me bring you up.
What's up, man?
Hey, let me pick my favorite layout. Hold on, bro.
Okay.
That's my favorite layout. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, dude. I was just listening to your Texas Roadhouse story, figured I'd just pop up, talk
Oh,
sports and Roadhouse. I'm going to take my cam off. I'm going to go back inside. It's cold
that's
outside
cool.
here.
Oh, that's cool.
Right on, man.
So you're in so
Up
where are you?
northwest, Washington State.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've traveled all around. I've been to a lot of different states. I have not been to Indiana though. So
Indiana's cool. It's laid back. My mom's family's from Denver, Colorado, and I like the kind of camping they did. They camped by Buffalo Creek in Colorado, and I'm telling you, dude, there'd be no one around you for like a 5 mile radius. This campsite, where, as far as I know, if there are places like that in Indiana, I haven't. Not that I've checked every place to go camp in Indiana, um, but the camping I've done in Brown County State Park is crazy. There's people all around you while you're camping. Like even
yeah,
if you
I've
camp,
done both that kind of thing. They have that around here
right,
too. You can go to a
right,
crowded campsite, and there'll just be
right,
people just packed in there, right? But you
and you
can
can hear
do,
them. Yeah.
yeah, and it's
Hmm.
if you're like me and you're camping, there's a time when you want to go to bed, man, and sometimes you got people like right next to you and they're doing their thing, and it's not a
Right.
good experience. Real camping and getting out
Right.
there is cool. It's a lot
Right.
better for me.
Oh yeah.
That's
There's
what I
this
like.
one dude. It's a YouTuber I follow. He's been doing it for a long time. His name's Nothing Fancy. And this dude, man, he'll pack 80 pound of gear on his back, and he'll go off the trail right to this remote lake area right in Utah. And I mean, you talk about, but he also has a GPS on him
Sure, yeah. No,
that
I
he can
mean,
press if he ever gets in trouble. So,
yeah.
but he's a retired Air Force colonel, dude.
So he knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah, he does. He
So
does.
is Indiana? I've never been there. Is it a flatter state, or you guys have mountains over
It
there?
there's some hills. It's definitely hilly. It ain't like
It's
Kansas or anything
not
like
flat
that.
land. Yeah,
Right, right, right. But it's not a no Colorado either. Colorado's
right.
just, um, yeah. I don't know why I don't know why my parents. Guess they picked Indiana because my dad's family's all from here. But I kind of wish they had stayed in Colorado because Colorado's, man. I
Yeah,
mean, the
that's like
people have.
that's what I'm thinking when you tell me about your buddy hauling 80 pounds on his back, which
Hmm.
I don't know if anybody who's listening or will listen back on your
Hmm.
stream here. 80
Right.
pounds is no joke, man. Like that's
Mm-mm.
that's a lot of weight to carry on a man.
Yeah.
Utah
Well.
has those mountains, man.
Hmm.
And
Well, what's
so does around here. I know about hiking in mountains, and
yeah.
you try to keep your pack as light as possible. And if
Oh
you're
yeah.
hauling 80 pounds, then you must have a lot of important stuff in there, because when you're
Well,
hiking, you
right.
really cut your weight as much as possible.
Right, right. Well, I think he does it because, like I said, he's going to this unknown. He's going to this location he goes to a lot. And what's funny, he never says where it's at because he doesn't want to end up seeing people where he's at. He just shows how beautiful it is. But he's
Well,
like,
that's smart. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He does not tell anybody. But what's funny, one of the items he carries, which a lot of dudes probably wouldn't carry, it's a small inflatable raft that's only really for one person, and he'll take it out in the middle of the lake and do a little fishing, and sometimes he catches what he eats. And yeah, or
That's going to be a lot of that's. I have carried inflatable rafts with me.
right,
I've never carried one man inflatable rafts, but I've
right,
been hiking with other guys, and like we'll take
mm-hmm,
turns packing the boat,
mm-hmm,
and it kind of takes the fun out of hiking, especially if you're going uphill on switchbacks
right.
and things like that. But
I
yeah,
think the
man.
most well, the other, I tell people before they buy a bunch of gear for camping, do some car camping first, and buy. Some of the cheaper gear you buy is going to be heavier, but first find out if you really like camping, and then if you do, then go try and go buy the lighter stuff, which is the more expensive
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
absolutely. Yeah, you never want to dive into something that you're not sure and just go top of the line with it all, and then realize like
Right,
I'm not into this. It wastes a bunch of my money. But how
right.
about you? Did you grow up camping? Like, did
I did, man. Like, what's funny is I don't remember this, but my dad, he served in both the Marine Corps and the Air Force. He said
Awesome.
when we were in Colorado, I was really small, but he said when we were in Colorado, we went camping 30 or 40 times. And I only recall like 3 or 4 times. So it's amazing we went camping that much. But see, now that I'm older and um, my daughter's in her 20s now, so I started creating my. See, when you get older, you start creating hobbies, right? And I was like, man, where am I getting this? All of a sudden, I want to be outdoors all the time. And then I remember my dad took me to all kinds of outdoor places when I was
Yeah,
really
man.
young.
It might be
So
it
that's
might
coming
be
back.
instinct. It might be like some
Yeah,
instinct in your DNA
yeah,
where you
yeah.
know the skills to live, if you have to live outdoors and
Oh man, I
how.
watched, and I've been watching some really cool. Cold Cracker Bushcraft is one that I watch. Another one is, of course, the Nut and Fancy Project. And what's funny is he shows lots of guns on his channel,
Hmm.
but he doesn't consider himself a gun channel, which is weird because it's like all over his channel. But he does do adventures where he goes on these hikes. He shows people hiking. He does these faraway camping. But like I said, he knows what he's doing. He does.
Yeah, especially if you're experienced with military and things like that.
Mm-hmm,
They turn out a certain caliber man that knows how
mm-hmm,
to they know how to live. And
mm-hmm,
especially, a lot of these guys, just like your dad, they'll take their kids out camping from an early age.
mm-hmm.
And even if you don't remember it, it may still be ingrained in your
Yeah,
instincts somewhere where you knew you were outside and whatnot. But
yeah. I
it's
got
really funny, dude, that because I live in the Pacific Northwest,
right.
I live near Seattle, but I didn't grow up near Seattle. I grew up more in like a country town. There's like a sawmill. There's a
Right.
lot of loggers, but we weren't far from the city. But
Cool.
the city people, man, they don't know how to camp at all, and so they have their own campgrounds with the Microsoft and the Google people.
Right.
They all go to the same campground on like the same day. So if you want to go on the 4th of July to like a lake or
Right.
something, man, you're gonna be 5 feet from another tent, and that's
Wow.
not really what camping is about to me.
No, no. Right, right. I agree with you. Oh, there's this one dude. I think he's called Alex Outdoors. Now he's found. I think he's more. He lives in Chicago, and he's found some really cool, out of the way camping things in Indiana, and also in the Chicago area. But he'll go to these camp places where he's not. They don't even charge because there's no facilities to really use, but
Yeah,
it's still
yeah.
considered open camp.
It's
I've yet to.
a
Right.
state park. It's more or less a state park, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
there's places like that up here where it's first come, first serve.
Right.
It's not highly groomed or anything, but you can get
Right.
there. And the good thing about that is, you got to find it, you got to drive to it, but you're
Right.
not going to have college kids to the left and the right and the back of you,
Right.
and you can enjoy nature, for a
Right.
while.
It's so funny. The last time I went camping, some of these outdoor people would have been disappointed in me because um, I, I want to say about 20 yards was modern showers and restrooms. And I paid $10 extra to camp in that area. So,
I mean, sometimes
yeah,
sometimes you just got to go do it. I mean, you got to
right,
get the
right.
feel of all of it. There's no
Oh,
shame in any of it.
right, right. Well, it's funny because around 2:30 in the morning. What's funny is I'll do campfire until like 2:30 in the morning, and then I'll go walk to the shower, the modern showers and stuff. Get all cleaned up before I go jump in my sleeping bag. But I know a ton of these guys that I.
It's so nice,
Right,
dude. You know
right,
that if you've ever been like really roughing it camping, and
right.
then you go to one that has a shower, it
Mm-hmm.
does feel pretty good to get a shower when you're camping,
Mm-hmm.
especially after a fire. All your clothes are full of smoke.
Right,
You've
right.
been, you've been drinking beer, and then you're like, let's go shower
Yeah.
down. It's pretty
Yeah,
good. It's good to
yeah. I
come back.
shower. I put on a t-shirt, new t-shirt and shorts, and then I jump in the sleeping bag. But it's so funny. Well, what's funny is I had never done winter camping, but one time I was just testing my gear in a really cold fall day, and I had a tough time because it was so cold. Uh, like it didn't snow on the ground, but it was cold, right? It's probably the closest thing I've ever done to almost camping in the winter. And but I actually have a really cool winter sleeping bag that's made for that. It's rated at 0, and so the whole exterior of it is canvas, is covered with canvas, and then the inside's almost like a wool blanket or like a blanket, just a really heavy winter blanket.
Yeah.
But
Well, what kind of temperatures does it get down to in Indiana?
oh my God. Oh, sometimes it can get in the wintertime, it can get down to 0. But then sometimes it can also be like maybe just in the 20s and 30s.
So yeah, you go to them
Yeah.
0 degree. So that's the other thing is like if people are going to watch your stream, like you were saying
Hmm.
before, don't
Right.
go out and buy a 0 degree sleeping bag and go camp in the summer with it,
Oh, no, no. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think
Yeah.
mine, the one that I have now, I think it goes down to, don't quote me. I think it goes down pretty low. It was cost a
Oh,
little bit, but
the other thing I need to do, and I think I want to do this because I want to extend the life of my winter sleeping bag. I want to get me like a summer sleeping bag I can stuff inside the winter one. So I'd rather get sweaty in that and replace a summer sleeping bag.
yeah.
But but so far the winter one's been handling pretty good.
Yeah, see, I've gone camping. The latest in the season that I've ever been is early November. And around here, it's just rainy and cold. We don't have
Right.
snow yet,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll do like a big. We get these pop-up tents. You know those pop-up tents
Yep.
they
Those
got.
are cool.
We'll set a bunch of them up. It'll be like a big. Everybody rides dirt bikes and quads, and we'll set up a huge like fortress almost of these pop-up tents, and all the we have tables and like all the food and stuff goes out on the tables
Oh, that's
and the
cool.
cooking devices, and like we got 10 guys on dirt bikes or quads.
On
And
one of
then
my live streams, I was showing this small wood burning stove. And
yeah,
unfortunately, it's the kind you can't really control the flame because and the only way you make the flame higher is you just keep adding wood to it. So I was telling them if there's anything they want to simmer, they should get one of them pocket rockets because at least you can control the fuel and the flame. If you want to cook something slow, but you can't do
yeah,
that on the wood burning stoves. But they're so cool though, the wood burning stoves. Oh, the other one I watch is, and he even got to go on alone. Joe something. What the hell's his name?
we got James in the chat. Look at James is up here just networking it up.
Yeah, Joe something Bushcraft. And
Oh, there's another Bushcraft.
no, but I'm talking about this channel that I watch. Is it, anyways, I can't think of his name. But anyways, he's one of the Bushcrafters. He's one of the YouTube Bushcrafters that actually got to make it on alone. But what got him kicked out is he lost his ferro rod, and
Oh,
there's no way. I guess he thought he could make fire since he lost his ferro rod. But now he would love if he could do it another time. But he would have went a lot longer if he hadn't lost his crazy ferro rod.
damn, dude. Yeah, that's unfortunate for him.
Yeah.
Can't be
And
losing
now,
things when you're out trying to survive.
oh no, I
You don't
loved
lose
watching
stuff.
that. I loved watching that alone thing because I think they were allowed to bring 10 or 12 items, and I think a lot of them brought tarps. And what
Yeah,
else
I
did they
like watching
bring?
it too. Yeah, there's a lot
It
of
was
different things
cool,
people bring. It's good, and like the Naked and Afraid one is kind of cool too.
right? The number one thing on alone that they didn't expect how much they'd miss people. That's the one thing they pointed out the most. They're like,
Yeah,
wow, now I realize human beings have to be around people.
yeah. The psychological
Hmm.
effect, it looks bad. I mean, you can see them really. You can really see it.
Yeah, it messed with their head. There was this one dude, I think his background was a hunter, and he taught some bushcraft skills too, but he was mainly a hunter. He had dried up a lot of fish, right? And
Yeah,
so he kept storing all this dried up you might as well call it fish jerky, but he kept but
Smoked
the bad
fish.
thing, right. He smoked it, right, but he wasn't eating enough of it to keep his body weight up. And every once in a while, the medical group would come out and weigh him, and if they lose too much weight, they kick him off the show. And that's what happened to this dude. And they actually had to show a mirror to him because he didn't know how badly he looked, right? They
Oh shit.
showed him a mirror, and he still didn't get it because I think when you lose that much weight, your mind's not working right.
Probably.
So when he watched back the episode later, it's like, oh my god, yeah, it's a good thing they pulled me.
Goodness gracious!
But
that's crazy, man.
I like what the young dude did. They brought some of them back that didn't get to win in one of the seasons. And this young guy purposely put on some pounds before he did the show.
Yeah.
And I think that was a way of cushioning in case he lost a little weight. And that young guy ended up winning it. So
he was just dunking donuts up. He was just doing some dunking.
He put it, I don't know how.
Or some Krispy Kremes, dude. Whatever he was
lots
doing.
Of cheeseburgers, whatever he did.
Yeah, probably high. Yeah, I would think if your strategy would be to go on one of those, you'd probably want like high protein yourself up real good.
Yeah, he pudged himself up a little bit, and then it worked out for him because then he didn't have to worry about losing a lot of weight.
That's a good theory, man. That really. Yeah. So, I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to tell my wife that.
Yeah, as far as I know, he was the only contestant that did that.
I'm going to tell my wife when I start putting on some weight. I'm preparing. I'm preparing for the worst. All right, babe. So just chill. It's for your own good. That's what I'm telling her.
Yeah, my wife wants me to. She wants me to go on alone to lose weight.
No, you gotta tell her you gotta put a little bit more on before you can go on there.
Yeah, I laugh so hard. I've made jokes that on the first day I press the button and say, "Hey, I need out of here," and they tell me I've only been there for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I gotta get out. I'm freaking hungry, you guys. I gotta get out of here.
Make sure you bring a cheeseburger. No. Actually, I would love to do it. I just got to pick a time whenever they're sending submissions in because I know how to build a shelter and I know how to make a fire. The only thing I don't do a lot is trap game, but I could watch enough videos where I could pull that off. And then what else? I think they want to see how you skin a fish and all kinds of other stuff. They want, because the majority of stuff you're probably going to be catching out there, you'll have to take care of and eat. Yeah. There's one thing I would not do that I saw a dude do out of survival. He made these fine wood strands and then ate them. And I was like, there's no fucking way I would do that.
He ate a bunch of wood?
He ate a bunch of wood strands. I don't know where that is in a survival book. I'd eat a fucking worm.
Dude.
I would eat.
He's trying to eat some wood noodles, man.
Man, I would eat fucking worms before I'd eat a fucking piece of
wood noodle.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'd rather eat bugs instead of, and I don't even like eating bugs. But
well, what was your childhood like? It sounds like you said your dad was pretty badass in the military.
Yep.
Was your mom around?
Yep.
Did you have any siblings?
A baby brother. I'm 2 years old.
You have a little brother. Yeah.
And he served in the Marine Corps too.
So, like, what kind of like did you guys have the classic nuclear family upbringing where the kids would like? I mean, I don't know your age, but you seem maybe just a bit older than me. But we were kids carrying sticks around. We were playing in the woods.
Oh yeah.
We were like, everybody had a pocket knife. You get a pocket knife when you're a kid.
Yeah, my parents didn't have a lot of money, and we played a lot in the creek and.
Hell yeah, that's how you learn.
What's funny?
I'm the same way. I'm the same way, bro.
What's funny? Those same creeks you couldn't pay me enough to get into now. One, because I noticed these neighborhoods don't keep the neighborhood clean, so you couldn't pay me enough to go in these creeks now. But at the time, people really kept up their stuff in the old neighborhood I used to live in. So the creeks were healthy,
Yeah.
The other thing I used to do, I used to pick berries off of trees, some of the neighbors' trees, and eat them. I don't do that now because I know people spray for bugs.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff that I did as a kid. There's no way I would do now as an adult.
But you have
Hey,
children now, right?
well, it's grown now. We just only had one, and that
Oh,
one's
okay.
grown. So
But is it girl or boy?
it was a girl.
Okay. Well, did they at least learn a little bit of
Oh, I taught
camping
him.
and
Yeah, I taught him some outdoor stuff. It was cool.
yeah.
And what's funny is she's an avid surfer now, so she likes getting out on the waves and stuff.
Oh, she's perfect, man. She's an active,
Yeah.
active person in,
Yep.
you want to avoid, you don't want to raise children to be just sitting around all the time and playing
Oh
video
yeah.
games, that
Oh
kind of
yeah.
stuff. Way too many
Yeah.
people doing that.
And what's so funny, the surf community is really about staying in shape and eating healthy and all that stuff.
Yeah, they certainly are. I know that. I actually did do a little bit of surfing out here, but
Oh, cool.
wasn't for long.
I never did the surfing thing, but I got caught on an undertow one time. And I was spinning in the undertow, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I realized, I started freaking out because I didn't realize which way was up or down. But I realized my body was still spinning. I said, well, shit, if I'm going to die, I'm not going to die freaked out. I'm going to die relaxed. So I just relaxed my body as much as I could. And then all of a sudden, my body slowed down and stopped spinning. And once I stopped spinning, all of a sudden, I realized which way was up. But it gave me a reverence for ever getting out in the ocean or being
Yeah.
careful where I'm at in the ocean. So,
Yep. And that's why I know exactly what you're talking about, dude.
yeah.
I've had a similar thing
Yeah.
like that.
It scared
And
the shit out of me. I was like,
the undertow is no joke. I've been caught in that. And luckily, where I was surfing, it was the sandy. It was a lot of sand. There was no rock or coral.
oh,
So I
cool.
got knocked down on the ground and slammed around, a lot of times.
Yep.
But you also have to watch for riptide.
Oh,
And
there you
people,
go.
if you're going to be messing around with the ocean at all, even if you're just standing in it, I can tell you that for certain because I was only standing in it, knee deep. And,
Cool.
and a riptide will pull you right out. If you're knee deep, you can fight against it. Next thing you know, you're waist deep. It just happens in a second. What's up? We got Adrian in
What's
here.
up, Adrian?
What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing here today?
Doing
Just
cool,
chilling,
man.
Drinking some beers.
Hey,
I wish I could be doing that, but I'm stuck here at the house. I can't even go out to buy a 6-pack of beer because I'll get in
Dang.
trouble with my mother. She's still awake and she'll gripe at me a little bit.
Cool.
That sucks.
Hey, so have you
It's
ever
all
had
good.
any experiences in the ocean, Adrian?
Yeah, I've been to the beach. I've seen the beaches and everything, but never swam in them or anything like that. So
That's cool.
What
Yeah,
part of the country are you from, Adrian?
I live in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that's lucky you. I'm telling you, from
Yeah,
Washington
well,
State. I'm in
wow.
Washington State. I'm going to tell you, lucky you, right now, bro.
Well, I appreciate that.
I like
Well-
how Texas loves their freedoms.
Well, yeah,
Or-
Texas is a very big conservative state. To be honest, that's no lie.
I love it. I wish
I was
damn.
born in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, that's
And
right. So
and
my brother Lone Wolf knows what I'm talking
Well,
about.
now you guys are piling on me, all right?
and they
Just kidding.
Well, they only stayed there 1 year, and then they moved to Colorado. And I was like, "Why did you leave Austin, Texas?" So, yeah, that's my parents.
I think
fault for doing
Austin
that.
isn't Austin kind of liberal right now. Don't they have like liberal leadership though in Austin, or is that Houston? I forget which one. I think it's Austin has like a liberal mayor.
I know
or something like that.
there's probably a lot of yuppies that live in Austin. I read about Austin a long time ago. The age range were pretty young too that I was reading about.
Austin's got that liberal mayor over there, and they got they got a little tech thing going on. I think over there.
Well, you know what's weird? It cracks me up the mindset of liberals and conservatives. I want to say in my dad's time, it wasn't so drastic contrast. Democrats.
It wasn't
and
even.
Republicans.
Well, how old
No, I
are
mean,
you?
why? No, I just turned 53. But these dudes that I work with, they're all 30s and 40s. They thought I was their age. Because I ain't
Yeah, I
got
thought you were
hardly
my
any
age,
gray hair.
dude.
Yeah. I ain't
You
got
don't get no
hardly
gray
any
hair. I don't
hair.
even have hair. Hang
Yeah.
on a minute.
I
So
ain't got
I'm
hair.
38, dude. I'm 38. But
Look
Oh
out.
wow.
I
You
know
see,
gal. I
I'm
know gals that
35 and I'm 35 and I've already got white hair coming out of my head and on my
and
chin.
I know gals that like to date guys with no hair.
I bet. Yeah, well, you know,
Yeah.
I know there's girls like
Right.
to date guys with hair, but
Right.
when you say that your dad's generation wasn't as divided, Republican Democrat,
Yeah.
either
then you
was
can.
yours, dude.
Right.
Either was yours, and either was
Right.
mine. Really,
Mm-hmm.
it's a recent. I
Mm-hmm.
really think it's a recent
It is a
development.
reason. It is. It is. Oh.
Uh,
Oh my
I
God.
mean, we never used it never used to be a division like this when we were growing up. You know,
Right. Right.
Me
Well.
growing up, there was nothing like this going on, nothing like this ever stuff going on. So
Right. Well, I will say this: some of the older Democrats are looking at some of these newer Democrats like they're from another planet because they're like,
I can tell you why.
because well, they're flirting. Well, some of them are flirting with like communist like ideas. And here's what I don't understand about that. If you read any kind of history, it just shows you that doesn't produce wealth at all. So
No.
why I don't understand why people play with that. Like let's take Russia for example, right? Um, but what's funny, Russia couldn't put the genie back in the bottle. Once they allowed capitalism in, like tons of Russians not tons, but a select few of Russians became wealthy because capitalism was allowed into Russia. But it was so funny. To this day, Russia still can't push that genie back in the bottle. One,
well,
because there's
Russia is
plenty
a
of Russians.
communist country, of course. Don't get me
Right.
wrong. It's
Well, yeah,
communism.
but now there's capitalism running through it, and there's some Russians that become very wealthy because of it. You know.
Yeah.
Well, in our
But
country,
yeah,
in the country that we live in,
right,
what we're seeing is a lot of the younger generation who are younger than we are. They
right,
see they see capitalism in this weird skewed way that our institutions, the schools,
right.
have been teaching them, and it's almost as if they see growing up and being an adult and having
Hmm.
adult responsibilities
Right.
is capitalist. It's almost like they want an institution to tell them what to do at every move of the way in your life.
At every stage, right?
Every stage of your life, just tell me what to do, put me in a school, put me in a class, you know.
Right.
Whereas in America, you you get educated
Right.
and it's a capitalist country. So
Yeah.
you go
Yeah.
you go work or you go make yourself something.
Right.
Either become an entrepreneur or an employee. Whatever.
Right. Right. And it's a mindset too. I believe. I think there's a different mindset between workers and also business minded or people that want to form their own business. It's a different mindset. There's some people that have a mindset as a worker, and then the ones that are creating businesses, it's a different
Well, yeah,
mindset. Yeah.
everybody. We were raised. I believe the
Yeah.
three of us. We were all raised to believe we were individuals, and
Oh yeah.
everyone
Oh
is
yeah.
Oh
different,
yes,
and everyone
definitely,
is to be respected as an
definitely.
individual.
Yeah. Well,
And
here's
it's not what they're doing anymore, though.
right. Here's what I love though. I think there's this one guy. He actually came from Russia, and he just became an American citizen, and he's conservative, right? This Russian guy, and he was telling people,
Well,
uh,
what does he want to conserve? I wonder.
well, he uh, actually, I'm not sure how he ran into conservative principles, but like I said, he just became an American, and he's conservative, and he's laughing at some of these newer Democrats because he actually had came from a communist country. So he was even trying to tell
Yeah,
some of them that stuff just doesn't work.
it's ridiculous, man. It
And
really is.
he could speak to it because he actually came from a communist country.
Yeah,
So
it's not
yeah,
only, Russia isn't the only communist country,
well,
but
China
you will
too.
see defectors from them,
But
and
you
they
know
will
what's so
come.
but you know what's so neat about China? When China took over Hong Kong, they didn't want China loved collecting the money so much from Hong Kong. They told them not to even change their economy because they wanted to keep collecting the money. I mean, at least that was China had enough smarts to go.
I've been to
Let's-
Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't. Yeah. Well, what
It's
I
changed since I've been there, but yeah.
thought, right. Well, what I thought was smart of the Chinese, they didn't want to change the
Yeah,
economics.
they like the money.
of
They're
right. They
low-key
were
capitalists.
Smart. And yeah,
Low-key capitalist, man.
Right.
They
right.
enjoy the money. They enjoy the money very much.
Right. So they were smart. They said we don't want to mess.
Most
with
of our
economy.
electronic stuff comes from China and stuff like that. Most of it. And
I didn't realize.
right now I've been hearing lately that the ships are still stuck. They're still stuck in the ocean. They're not letting
Right.
anything from China come in right now.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not a laughing matter. It's not just
Right.
China.
I know it's no laughing matter there.
Right.
Things are going to get really bad, like really soon.
Gas price is already going sky high already. It's not even funny. It's crazy.
Right.
It's going to be there's going to be hyperinflation coming soon.
And you know what's crazy? It doesn't have to be that way. That's what blows me away so much. It doesn't have to be that way.
I can tell you why it all happened. It's really easy. It's really easy to see. So every state, the federal government encouraged every state. The media encouraged every state to do this lockdown 2 years ago, right? You guys remember everybody was locked down, and it lasted for a long time. Well, the truck drivers were locked down. The longshoremen were locked down.
Mm-hmm.
And so now what we're seeing is a big backlog coming up, and it's only the beginning right now. It's going to take 5 fucking years to get out of this shit. And
I can agree with that.
We're only seeing the tip right now. It's going to really start hitting the fan in a little bit.
See, I have a feeling if Trump was in office, they wouldn't even have had a backlog, and they wouldn't have a crisis at the border.
I believe that too.
Yeah.
Well, when Trump was president, he also tried to get that wall built up for Mexico and stuff like that. That to me right there is like, me being a Hispanic Latino guy here, that's kind of a slap to my face, Well,
why though? Because we want Hispanic men and women and families up here. We want people that love America, we want people to come here legally.
Here's what I loved about the conservative Latinos. The Trump wasn't saying they don't want immigration. They want people to come legally. America is still welcoming, legals to its shore. You know what I mean? And then of course they got that one thing. If you feel fear for your life, or they're welcoming those kind of people too as well.
Well, actually,
you can get what is it called? You said it right. If you fear for your life, but there's a word for it. I forget it now. Right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But regardless, it doesn't matter.
There has to be laws. There has to be.
Oh yeah. Well, what's so funny is
it's nothing against Mexican people or Hispanic people.
Right. What's funny is Biden didn't even realize what he was saying. And he was making these people from this other country think that they should just show up, right? And come to find out, now Biden's singing a different tune now that he's in office. He's like, no, don't.
Oh, he made no. Biden didn't even do it. Biden's a fucking pussy. He made his vice president stand up there and say, "Do not come."
And say, "Do not come." Yeah. So
she said, "Do not come" twice.
And a lot of people forgot Obama said the same thing when Obama was having the same problem. He even said to people, "Don't come. You need to get here legally."
Did. Well, Bill Clinton said the same thing too.
Bill Clinton said the exact same thing back in the day too. He said the exact same thing.
The words they used were, "We are a nation of laws," and that's what they all have in common. That's what they all said.
Right, and I like what Trump said. If you stop being a nation of laws, hey, what's up, Miss Muggs?
Miss Muggs, make a love shout out.
Hey,
Miss Muggs in the house.
You seem to become. You don't become no longer a nation of laws anymore. If you let it be just a free for all. But we won't do that.
No, well, and then also with when the time of Bill Clinton being president of the United States, after his controversial affair with that lady, things got screwed up for him really quick. It went downhill real quick.
Well, you know what though? Sometimes I love what I told my buddy. I have this one buddy. He's like an extreme Democrat, and he knows I'm not an extreme Republican, but I'm a conservative. And I said this to him. I said, "Hey, what you don't see is they're high-fiving each other
Hello,
in the
Miss Bugs.
background, and they give the appearance like they're not getting along, but they almost kind of fool the American public. They're slapping high fives, and some of them are
dude.
buddies. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
They're getting beers later on. They're like
right.
legislature in the Senate.
Right.
They're just,
But they want to make people think they're fighting or at each other all the time, and sometimes they're like buddies.
That's the term political theater, and they use it to control. So
yeah,
you guys already know.
Right, but here's what they don't realize. We don't care what kind of perks they get as long as they're governing correctly. Like American people could give two hoots about whatever perks they get, and they do get
becoming
perks.
a new admiral.
Influence. Yeah. Well, they.
You guys see our new admiral there?
What was the new admiral like?
Oh man, you haven't seen it. Neither one of you guys?
No. I haven't seen it.
Okay,
I will say this. I'm not a military guy, but I was disappointed in one of the head military guys. I was actually very disappointed because he wouldn't admit that there was a failure about how we pulled out of Afghanistan. This top military brass dude would not admit it, and I just thought that was kind of
until you hear the new admiral, man. Yeah, it was terrible. Biden did a terrible pull out of that, and everybody should know that.
And
but moving on though, that the new admiral, you guys are going to like this one. So our Secretary of Health, I don't know if you know do you guys know who the Secretary of Health is?
No. Break it down to us.
Okay, so the United States Secretary of Health is named Rachel Levine.
Levine, okay.
They are a trans woman.
Cool.
What?
Never been in the military.
Never been in the military. That's interesting.
Maybe been in the military. I don't know. I don't know enough yet.
Okay.
But they were awarded. Biden did it. Biden gave this person. I'll call them person. I don't know their fucking pronouns.
Okay, that's cool.
They Joe Biden gave them an honorable admiral or something. They became an admiral.
Oh wow! Okay,
you have to look that up. It's ridiculous, you guys. It blows my mind. I'm like, how the fuck does this even happen?
Right. Well,
and that's the Secretary of Health for the United States.
Yeah, here's what I didn't know. Like in World War II, and then I was watching some documentary, but it did show. Of course, they were undercover when they were doing this in World War II. There were some gays in the military that served very honorably in World War II, but like I said, they kept it under wraps or they kept it undercover. And so, I mean, there is documented evidence where people who have been gay and served their country in the right way, and then I think there was a time a don't ask, don't tell policy. I think that was going on. But, there's other governments in the world that just didn't stress out about it like the United States does about that.
Yeah, it's weird. That is a bit weird. You're right,
But I understand why we do it. But it could be because maybe America still has phobias about that. But
I don't really think that there are many that do.
No, I know. But
I think the thing that I think, the phobia, is from these... It's from people that are otherwise just very obnoxious.
Right.
Because you and I have probably both met very respectable homosexual people. And perfectly awesome people that we like to be around, and they're great, and they work
then there's
just
some that aren't.
And there's these weird, obnoxious people that are like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right, and then same for straight people. There's some really good straight people and some really bad.
Yeah, you get some straight people that are fucking wild too.
Yeah,
what the hell's wrong with them?
You can find bad in any group.
You can get it in all of them.
Right.
Yeah, you get some weird people out here.
Right,
it's the world we're living in.
But our militaries, they try to do a lot of first before our society does. Like the Japanese Americans served in our military, and then black people served in the military. So the military, you normally tries to be. It's almost like they use the
Yeah,
military
of
as
course.
an
That's where we get the
experiment.
internet
Right.
from. We get the
Right.
internet from, and
We
that's why
seem
we're even talking right now.
right. We seem to kind of use the military as an experiment before we throw it in society.
Uh-oh.
So it's interesting.
Somebody
I didn't
dropped.
kick him off.
Adrian dropped.
He must have dropped himself. But anyways, but I understand. I don't know. I mean, I've had good experience. I mean, I've never served in the military,
Yeah,
but I've had good experience with, like, I had two. I served on this one security team where I had two lesbian bosses, and they were really nice ladies. They were really cool. And,
yeah, I don't have any problem either, man. Like,
right.
a lot of people
So,
that, you may be a gay person, but
right.
you conduct yourself like a normal person, and everything's fine.
Right.
All
And
this weird stuff is
right.
being a weirdo to me,
Yeah, I feel. I mean, I can't relate to them because I'm not in that lifestyle. But
I'm gonna tell them
sometimes
to stop because I don't like it.
right, I know. But sometimes I feel. What's the word? Sympathy or compassion?
Maybe empathy.
Yeah, empathy. I feel bad. Well, I mean, I'm glad I don't relate, but at the same time, I recognize or.
Yeah, it's empathy, man. It's you're feeling for them. If they're here too with us, man. They're here. They're no more or less than we are.
Here's the thing that almost changed my mind about the whole thing. They did a scan of these people's brains, right? And sure enough, areas of the brains light up differently between both a straight person and a gay person. Like you can physically see it on the scan, and which almost makes me believe them when they say they feel they were born that way. You know what I mean? So
yeah. They probably are. So at that point, like, there's no hate, no hate going.
Yeah.
But I'm right with you, and I think a lot of people are.
But I believe
they're requiring more out of us now, though.
But I think there's a few of them that were created. There are some that are born that way, and then I think a few of them got circumstances that created them that way.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then there may be some that are actually choosing that way, but I guess what I'm saying is, regardless of how they come about it, I try not to judge because.
Yeah, but I don't want them to tell me that I have to call them a girl if they look like a guy.
Oh my God!
That's about where that's where I'm at with it.
It's right.
If you do look like a girl, then I'll fucking not even know the difference. But if you don't, then don't make me call you a fucking girl.
Right. But but in full disclosure, I have called one still girl, but they didn't ask me to, but I still did just out of respect for them. But I don't expect other people.
Yeah, well, that's
if you know what I'm saying. I don't expect other people to do the same thing.
If you're in the mood to do it, man, give them. They'll feel good about it.
But here's what's
it'll
funny.
Actually make them feel good, right? It makes them feel good.
But here's the funny thing.
So,
I sometimes mess up and say him though.
What's up, dude? One of them.
Right. And this person laughs about it because they know I didn't do it on purpose.
Just who you are.
Right. So, but that shows that they're being cool too, even though I mess up and go, "Hey, dude," or "Hey, what's up, my man?" But what's funny is they know I'm not doing it out of spite or to be mean or that's. I don't know why I got on that tangent.
I don't either, dude. But it's funny because that's what happens out here. There's people that grew up in our generation, and if you look like a boy or a man, that's what you are to us. There's these high school kids, man. They are. So I'm 38. I got some friends that are younger than me that have kids in school.
Mm-hmm.
And man, those school kids are weird as hell.
I am worried about I think they call them gender fluid people.
Yeah, they're the weirdos that we all went to school with.
Well, this one person ended up getting attacked by a gender fluid person. And I think this one person ended up getting raped. And
Are you talking about
it was recently
Loudoun County?
I think so. Yeah, it was recently.
And the dad was arrested and called a terrorist.
Yeah,
and that's bad.
Well, it didn't fit the narrative, right? This incident.
Do you want to know how it really went down? I can tell you.
Yeah, let's say how.
So this man's 16-year-old girl. Wait, was she 16 or 15? Either way.
Okay. Right.
She's a young high school girl. She's a freshman in high school. A trans person was in the bathroom with her.
Gotcha.
Forced oral and anal.
Oh, wow.
Forced. And she reported it. And the school called the father and said, there was an incident, we'd like you to come down. So he came down calmly, thinking that the daughter had like beat somebody up or something.
Right. Not knowing how serious it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's like, hey, did you call the police? And, you know, we need to make a police report right now. Like any father would do, like fuming mad, you know, somebody's harmed his daughter. Somebody's harmed his daughter in a really bad way.
Right.
And what they did is they called the police on him.
Oh, wow.
And so he was arrested.
That's crazy.
There was also a court date that they were at, and he went to confront some of the other people that were there. There was a video of it. I saw.
Wow.
A lady with a rainbow shirt on came and was talking a bunch of crap to him because they said they were trying to set this person up, you know, this trans person up. They said they were transphobic or homophobic.
Right.
And the guy said something along the lines of, they raped my daughter.
Right.
And the police just apprehended him at that point, called him a terrorist. And then that same trans person kid, they sent him to different schools. And he did it 2 more times to 2 different other girls.
Yeah, see,
you
I
guys
didn't know
can
that.
look that up. You can look that up.
Wow, I didn't know that. But anyways, it played into what a lot of people were afraid of could happen. So
it did happen.
Yeah,
it happened.
Right. That's what I mean. That it played into that.
Everybody was worried about it happening, and like normal people were like, "Yeah, we probably shouldn't do this. This is weird."
Right.
And then they're like, "But this could happen," and it fucking happened, and they're trying to cover it up.
And I think what I would do if I had a facility so that wouldn't happen again, just so for my own peace of mind, I'd have like one of those bathrooms that anyone can go in, but you got to lock the door. One of those.
That's bathrooms. Like the safe way to do it. If you just have locks on every door.
I'd be like, this is your, you know, it's. Well, you don't have to name the bathroom. Just say
it's just a bathroom at that point.
But
it's
once
just a
you
bathroom,
go in,
lock the door behind you.
Lock the door, yeah. So
it's a bathroom. That's all it is.
That's the only way you'd have to do it. So that
it's a human bathroom. Take care of yourself over here. Make sure you lock it.
Just lock the door behind you. So But I know they said that would cost us extra money to do that. But I noticed there's plenty of family bathrooms in most buildings, anyways, where people can go in and lock the door. So there's a lot of buildings.
Let me ask you this: why do you think they're trying to hush this story up a little bit? Because it's not mainstream. Like, why do you think they're trying to hush that?
It didn't make the. I think it's mainly because they don't want to offend a bunch of communities. I think that's why. I don't think it's a conspiracy or anything like that.
They don't want to. Yeah, well, it's not a conspiracy. It's exactly what you said.
Right.
They don't want to offend the people that have the money.
Well, that's true too. But oh man, do you have Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you got to go check out Dave Chappelle's new show on Netflix.
I saw it.
Oh, cool. It was cool.
Yeah, he knows it. And they're trying to cancel him for it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. They won't be able to.
Oh, and Netflix is being cool. They're not bending to it at all. The Netflix is being cool.
It's a good move in the pendulum, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and you know what I didn't realize? He became really good friends. I'm going to go ahead and tell this story because people may not have Netflix anyways. This is in the comedy show. He ends up becoming really good friends with a trans white person. And this person, I guess, was not very good at comedy, but he allowed this person to come up and do the set first. And they don't show this in the show. He's just talking about it. And I guess the person bombed really bad. And then he comes out and does his show. And then he interacts with this person during his show. And I guess each time the comeback from the trans white person was very funny. And then Dave Chappelle decided to help this trans person out build their comedy to make it a little more funnier. And this person just blossomed, right, and did really good job. But then I guess some people said some nasty things to this person, this trans person on Twitter, and then I guess it really affected the trans lady. Hey, what's morning, mommy Deborah? How's it going? Morning, girl.
It
Anyways, long
offended
story.
a
Well,
guy or
well, no, it was
hey, Deborah,
the trans white guy, or trans white, you know,
what were they trying to be? Were they trying to be a guy or a girl?
I think they were trying to be a girl, and
Okay, so they're
the
trying to be.
girl took.
I got you.
I guess the girl got overwhelmed with this. The she lady got overwhelmed with all this stuff on Twitter that was said about her, and she ended up killing herself. Right,
Oh,
and he
fuck.
was really bummed because he had developed a cool friendship with this trans white person,
Yeah,
and
it's terrible.
and he looked at and he said that in his special that's on his new special, because
I
he
did
tells
not
this.
see that one. I didn't
Okay,
see that. I didn't see
okay, he
that.
tells the story way better than I do, but
Fuck, dude.
but
That's
yeah,
bad. You
but
don't want to
what's
see
neat,
that.
though, the trans community didn't know he had developed a good friendship with this trans comedian.
Hmm.
That's why he's telling the story. You know, he was telling me he has nothing against that community. Matter of fact, look, I developed a really close friendship with this. But yeah, I love Dave Chappelle, man. I love that he talks.
He's got a good take on reality, you know.
Yeah, yeah. George Carlin was that way too. Dude, I did
Yeah,
not
he
know
was.
my dad.
Yeah, he really
Dude, I
was.
did not know my dad was not a George Carlin fan, because one time I said in front of my dad, "Yeah, man, it sucks. George Carlin died." And he goes, "Oh man." My dad said some expletives, and I guess he wasn't a George Carlin fan.
Well, George Carlin was pretty liberal, pretty
Right,
leftist, but he did
right.
have some good points every once in a
Oh my
while.
God! And he would make some rich dudes feel bad, which was kind of funny. Uh,
Yeah.
he referred to that black cigar as a black beep. So it was very funny. I was
Yeah.
shocked he was never. I was shocked that no one ever tried to take him out, because he was saying some stuff that was really blowing people's mind. Like he would say stuff like, "Oh, America was bought a long, long time ago. The people that own this country, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you just have voting to give you a sense of some kind of power." And he said if the electricity went off tomorrow and never came back on, these people would start scratching at each other. The other thing he said was almost like a prophecy. He said, "You guys are going to make your environment so clean that it's going to get so clinically clean that a tiny bug's going to come and then wipe you out." So I mean, George Carlin
Yeah.
he's a trip.
He was above his time. He was before his time, probably.
Oh yeah, he was hilarious. And then
Well, hey,
Chappelle did some
man,
very funny.
dude, Chappelle, too. You got to hand it to him, man. You got to listen to the words, and I know you do. But
Right.
my time is coming up to an end. I got a wife to take care of over here. So,
Oh, right
Lone
on,
Wolf
dude.
Bushcraft, man, thank you for having me on your channel.
Hey, dude, anytime, man. Anytime you want to come up, just come on up, bro.
Cool. Yeah, and if you see me come on the channel or something on my channel,
Okay.
come on up, dude. Anytime.
Cool beans, man. Thanks for chatting up here.
Later, bro.
Later, bro. Take care. Cool. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Morning, Deborah. Miss Muggs was here for a little bit. She was cool. Sunny Stormy was here. Deborah's. Thanks for liking, Deborah. I appreciate that. So yeah, that was yeah, thanks, Survivor. Let me show his and thanks, Miss Muggs, for coming up here. So that's the Survival channel. Thanks for co-hosting with me, dude. I appreciate that. You rock, my man. And I liked how he said he was going to come up real quick, and I made him stay for a while, so that's pretty cool. So thanks for staying for a while, Survivor. So for those of you who may not be familiar with this channel, make sure you give the Survival channel, give it a look. Make sure you check out his channel. So right now, I'm going to go through some of the comments. I'm still going to keep the stream going, But I want to show off these comments that came earlier here in my live stream. That was him saying hi to me. Please give this channel a look. And like I said, I'm showing off these channel names, so in case anyone replays back this live stream, they can go check out these channels as well. And like I said, tonight was open chat. And sometimes when I go in open chats, I weave in and out of stuff. And as you can see, sometimes we talk about the politics, and sometimes we talk about things that can make people uncomfortable, which I understand. What's up, James Kim? Oh man, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that. James Gimpy. Oh, thumbs up. Miss Muggs with greetings. During the day, I sometimes catch Miss Muggs live. She's got a pretty cool live stream. Miss Muggs does. Another cool streamer is Deborah Orat. I usually catch her streams in the morning. What's funny is she's over in the Philippines. So, and then Miss Muggs is over in Hong Kong, I believe. And then Miss Deborah Orat is in the Philippines. And when she's streaming, it's morning time over here. So I want to say her streams, oh my God, it's like between 5 and 6 a.m. here when she's doing a stream. But over there, it's evening time over in the Philippines when she does a stream. So yeah, once again, that's Miss Deborah Orat, and she streams daily. So yeah, let me show her name one more time. Deborah Orat streams daily, and then I want to show the other channel that also streams daily that she said bye a minute ago. So these are the two main channels that stream daily: Miss Muggs and also Deborah Orat. And I usually go to both streams on a regular basis. I want to say between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. is when, on my time, I think it's evening time in Hong Kong. When Miss Muggs streams, it's about 10 or 11 a.m. here in the States. But over in Hong Kong, I believe it's evening time. And then same thing with Miss Deborah. When I see her at 5 or 6 a.m. here in the morning here, it's probably 5 or 6 p.m. over there in the Philippines. So, but like I said, both Deborah and Miss Muggs, they live stream daily. Now, myself, here on the Lone Wolf Bushcraft YouTube channel, I do not stream daily, but I stream whenever I really, really want to come on. And normally when I do a live stream, sometimes I'm talking about a specific topic, and then sometimes I have an open chat. And today's stream was definitely one as being an open chat stream, so it was cool. And then it's always neat. Like right now, it's about 11:38 p.m. here in Midwest Indiana. So over there, I imagine it's probably AM over there. But over here in Midwest Indiana, it's evening time here. Oh, there's my man Adrian. What's up, brother?
Just chilling out here, watching some Family Feud on TV before hitting the sack here in a little while.
That's cool, man.
How about you? How's everything been for you, my brother? How's everything been?
It's been cool. Earlier in the stream, I was talking about how I just came back from Texas Roadhouse, and I had
yeah.
I took my wife's niece. She had bacon cheeseburger, and the bacon
That's
was
my favorite.
huge. It was about this long, and I'm telling you, it was about that thick. The bacon was about that thick, and
Wow.
man, it was really, really good. And then I ended up having just a regular American cheeseburger, but on my fries I had melted cheese put on top and bacon bits. And then for our appetizer, we had um, they call them taters, or no, they're like the potato skins with melted cheese and bacon on top, and you dip them in sour cream. And then we also had barbecue, boneless barbecue chicken that we could
Oh yeah, the good
dip
stuff.
ranch in. Yeah, it was really good. And
What I
then the
like from
paste.
what I like from Texas Roadhouse, is I like the let's see. When I usually go to Texas Roadhouse, I usually get the Texas Roadhouse burger. It's real good too. The burger from there
Oh,
is good. I usually get that a lot.
oh, cool.
My brother
I
usually gets his New York strip from there. It's actually pretty good. So, oh, Lone Wolf is gone. He went down. Turn off my camera until he comes back. All right. There's Lone. He's back, guys.
hey, sorry about that. StreamYard does that to me every once in a while. I
And you know what?
usually,
It starts to it makes the sound like the voices are turning into robots too. That's
yeah,
one thing I don't get.
yeah. I was gonna get an 8 ounce sirloin steak, but the niece ordered since she ordered a cheeseburger with bacon. I thought, man, I haven't had a hamburger in a while from Texas Roadhouse, so that's why I went ahead and ordered a hamburger. But I was gonna order an 8 ounce steak, but I changed my mind and went with the
Every
burger.
time when I go to Texas Roadhouse, I always want to try their steaks from there because they're
They're
very
pretty
good.
good. They're really good. But the burgers ain't too bad either.
No, but in Dallas, when I used to go there, I usually get the. We stopped at a TGI Fridays one time there. Me and my brother
Ooh.
and my cousin there. We were all there. We had some mixed drinks, some shots,
Mm-hmm.
some beer, a little bit, and I ordered me a Jack Daniel's hamburger. And it was the bomb.
Ooh. Oh
It
yeah.
was the bomb.
Yep. I sometimes would order the Jack Daniel's hamburger from TGI Fridays as well. And
It's
then
good. I love it.
I sometimes would get their fajitas too.
Their fajitas are the best too. I love their
Mm-hmm.
fajitas.
Yeah. Sometimes they'd be a mixture of chicken and steak combination.
Yeah.
It was really
But you
good.
know what though? When they brought me that Jack Daniel's burger, I was like, man, it was like the taste was like really good. It's like it melted in my mouth. The taste, it was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. That Jack Daniel's sauce is awesome. It's on point. It's
It's
really good.
very good. It's very, very good on point.
It's really good. So do you take care of your mom?
Yeah, I
Right
do.
on.
I take care of her because my brother works out of town a lot and he doesn't have time to
Cool.
be doing stuff like that. So,
That's cool though.
me and my brother already got we already got the lawyer to get us everything going, like medical and power of attorney. So me and my brother got both of that now. So,
Cool. I
and
see. I
then
wish.
that's something I got done already. So, and that was expensive.
Yeah. See, you're going to be glad you do it in the end, because when my mom passed at 71, and we didn't do any of that. See,
Oh,
the plan was originally my brother was going to have my mom sell her house, and then after she did that, she was going to move. We were going to buy a double, right, where my
yeah,
brother was going to live on one side and my mom was going to live on the other, and then that way he could check on her daily, right? And
yeah.
she just wanted to stay in her own house, man. We was like, okay, so
Well, my mom, my grandmother, her mom, she left a will saying that, her my grandmother's house belongs to my mom right now. So when my mom passes, God forbid that ever happens, but if it
right,
ever does, that house will go to me. and I've already got the deed transferred over to my name. The attorney took care of everything. So
Oh, there you go. So that's money well spent.
yeah, they did what it's called a ladybird deed. I don't know if you've ever heard of something like
No,
that.
I've not heard of that. That's
Anyway,
cool.
it's the transfer of deeds. Like my parents' house is going to be my brother's house too. Whenever whenever my mom passes, is going to be his, and I get my grandmother's house. So
Oh, cool.
I don't know what I'll be, but it was like $500 just to get all that done.
It's money well spent.
It's money well spent, but it's money well
Yeah.
worth it too, because
Yeah.
once you get my mom's coming here. Hold on.
So how old is your mom right now? Oh, dude, I think you're mute. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was mute for a second. I need to mute for just a second. I'll be right back here.
That's cool. Yeah, for those of you that got older parents, it's good to do that kind of paperwork now. That's why I was glad to hear he took care of all that paperwork. It's wild having your parents get older. I think my dad is, he's 74. No, I think my dad is 75.
No, well, my father was, when he was alive, I wanted to get power of attorney for him too, because of his health, but I couldn't really do that, because
Right.
my father was still in the right frame of mind back then,
Right.
He
Yeah,
didn't have no health issues much, but
yeah, so far my dad's doing pretty good at 75. He rides his bike daily. He got his own little family going, and I love my dad. He's so funny. It's so funny dealing with my dad because sometimes he acts special.
my dad was very funny. When he was alive, my dad was very funny.
Right, yeah.
My dad would make me laugh so hard. It's like, man.
Yeah. My old man's cool, but sometimes he can be silly. It's funny when you're dealing with your parents, and sometimes it's weird. Sometimes when he doesn't get his way, he acts like a kid. It's hilarious.
I've noticed when my dad was alive too, like if he didn't get his way, he would be like, he would be telling me, you never listen to me about this. And I'm like, calm down, Dad. I'm trying to do it your way, And then I would do it the way he wanted. Then he was okay, It's like,
what I'm already putting in my own head. So in case my daughter has to deal with me when I get my dad's age, I'm already trying to put in my head. Let's be cool to, no matter how old I get, let's be really nice to people who love me.
Yeah,
so
we got to try to be as cool as we can,
Right. It's but their minds chemically change when they get older. And so in some cases they can't help it. That's the scary thing about getting older. Sometimes you physically can change a lot in your mind, and then sometimes you may not realize how you're acting towards people, which I find scary that happens to people.
Well, my parents, when my dad was alive, my parents were always together 24/7,
Right.
And I had my freedom to go out, go to local bars, drink beer, get drunk, come home drunk, do whatever. But I kind of really slowed that down a lot because of, my dad's health. And, there were times I'd get up like at 2:30 in the morning, I'd wake up pretty early in the night, just to go to the bathroom. And,
Right.
I'd check on my dad to make sure he was still breathing normally and everything, and then go back to sleep. I always took care of my dad, and it was always scary. It's always scary, because I didn't know if anything was going to ever happen.
Right. I think but the neat thing, only because I believe there's a hereafter, and I think you're going to get some awesome kudo points for that. I think God understands all of our struggles we go through in this life, and He definitely knows what we need before we even ask it. And
well, yeah, my mom keeps telling me all the time. She's like, she tells me, Adrian, I keep telling God to give to give your dad his life back and bring him back to life and had to, bring him home and everything. Like, I tell my
Wow.
mom, it's not, if God was to ever grant that wish, he'd have to do that for everybody, and that
Oh,
wouldn't be fair.
oh, it'd be super populated too.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's
Man,
the way she was.
that'd be sprung all over the news, wouldn't it? People are spontaneously coming back. Wow.
Yeah, that would
Wow.
actually,
That
it would
freak
be like, wow.
that freaks some people out. Oh, you know what I
Yeah,
didn't realize back in the day when they buried somebody? I guess it's because they anyways, long time ago, when they buried someone, they still left a hole big enough with a string and it had a little bit of bell right to it. So in case they accidentally buried someone that maybe either kind of came back to life on their own or, anyways, they could ring this bell. It was almost like a fail safe in case they accidentally buried somebody that was still alive. So
wow.
that blows me away that they had that. That, you know, but see,
What
with all of
what
our
catches my
technology,
interest, there's my mom asked me, because I told her that the son of God will be coming soon, but we just don't know how soon, Jesus is coming back very soon,
right,
we just
right.
don't know how soon, but
Hmm.
she asked me, I think is he going to resurrect everybody, like my mom, my dad, and your father, like, yeah, possibility, yeah, it could happen.
Right. I
But
have you
I
ever
tell
heard
her,
of the
everybody's going to rise from the dead, just to get judged individually. So,
dude? I participate in two churches. One's the Roman Catholic Church, and the other one is the Baha'i Faith. And if you need to go to Baha'i, it's spelled BAHAI.org. Go to Baha'i.org and check them out. And I'm curious to see what your opinion is about the Baha'i Faith. But
I'll check
anyway,
it out.
yeah. The only reason I'm having you check it out is one, because I participate in the Baha'i Faith. But anyways, the Baha'is, there was this one group of people called Seventh Day Adventists, and they thought, and I think this happened around 1844. Okay,
Mhm.
both 17 Adventists, and there were also some Muslim people, and there were also some Jewish people. Anyways, around the period 1844, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, they were sensing that God was going to send another messenger, right?
Right.
And so they were all getting excited. Hey, what's up, Adrian? And uh, anyways, the Baha'is basically believe that Baha'u'llah fulfills pretty much the return, right?
Yeah.
But it's probably not the kind of return Christians had expected. Very similar to the Jews, when the Messiah came, Jesus came in a very unexpected way. A lot of Jews were raised to believe that uh, the Messiah was going to be like almost a powerful military kind of like person. And Jesus, of course, did not fit that bill. So, uh, and same thing for Baha'u'llah. I think the way Baha'is look at the return of Christ in the personage of Baha'u'llah is not the way Christians had envisioned. You know what I mean? I think what's funny is Christians envisioned Christ's return very similar to the way Jews had viewed what the Messiah is going to look like, right? And
Yeah.
so, because in Revelation it talks about, it almost sounds like Jesus come back and he's whipping ass and taking names, and so it's almost like a military
What's
like
up,
view.
Adrian Gibson?
So I think that's funny how religious history is repeating itself. The manifestation's coming back to earth, but it's not coming back the way people think it's going to.
Yeah.
But it's funny how God seems to work in that way. He seems to appear or do things that people don't expect. So that's kind of wild that how religious history can repeat itself like that. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, you know, it's just like, we have to look for signs in the sky, like to
Right.
see,
Oh, and that's what they did. that's why they call it the Great Disappointment. Some of these people sold all their possessions and actually waited on their rooftops. And then when the 1844 year passed, they called it the Great Disappointment because they didn't see Jesus in the clouds. And they were actually really disappointed because they thought he was actually going to appear on the physical clouds. And when he didn't, that's why they call it the Great Disappointment, because they didn't see him.
Yeah, well.
But I almost see Christians doing that today. I could see them selling all their stuff and waiting on roof. And anyways, I could see them doing that real easily.
Well, we don't know for sure, if we'll be around when Jesus comes back.
Oh, dude, can you imagine if your neighbor sold all this stuff and was waiting on the rooftop, and you said, "What are you doing, dude?" Hey, I'm waiting to try to see Jesus in the sky. But no, I always think God seems to work differently than what people are getting from their religious texts. He seems to not. I don't know why God seems to work that way, but he always seems to do the opposite of what the textbooks are saying.
Well, God
that's
does
just
work
from what I.
God does work in ways that we don't even know he does,
Right. Oh, my favorite thing I loved is what I heard on TikTok. It talks about when people come in and out of your life a lot. They said, don't worry about it because God hears conversations that you didn't hear that other people said. And I thought that was really interesting. I thought that was really cool. Like, don't sweat it if people come in and out of your life because maybe God's working in the background to help with that, which is cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I'm a believer in Jesus, I believe in, I believe in Jesus. I believe in his promises, I believe he's coming back, and I believe he went back to heaven to make a place for us,
Right.
I believe in all that. So
I love this. And I know a lot of Christians that do. I love this TikTok, though. This girl does a really funny TikTok. She shows herself as the human being, but also as the alien. And this human being overhears this green alien say, "Hey, Jesus has come to our planet." And the human being goes, "Really? Jesus came to your planet?" He goes, "Oh yeah, he comes twice a year to our planet. We give him his favorite chocolates every time he comes." And then the alien looks at the human and says, "Well, hasn't he been back to your planet since?" And then the green alien looks at the human and says, "Well, what did you do with him the last time or the first time he came?" And the human being goes like this. Because they realize
now that you're talking about that, I've seen that on TikTok too.
Right.
Actually, I've seen that.
And it made me laugh really hard because the human didn't have a response to the,
the alien also talks about Satan and the Antichrist too. He talks about that kind of stuff too. So
right, but I thought it was interesting that the green alien mentioned that Jesus comes to their planet twice a year and he gives them the chocolates.
That's crazy, That's really crazy.
Well, there's a story where God's, Jesus is enjoying heaven, right? And all of a sudden, God the Father starts talking to Jesus about coming back a second time, right? And Jesus is like, what's that again? You said you want to send me back a second time. He's like, oh, yeah. And then I guess Jesus is kind of reluctant to go back because how he was treated the first time. He almost kind of looks at the Father kind of crazy, like, don't you remember how they treated me the first time? So I could almost understand why Jesus would not come back the second time. I have this one T-shirt. I showed it off on one of my live streams. I got it upstairs. I don't have it with me. Anyways, on it shows Jesus, right? But he's got a pair of sunglasses on, and at the bottom it says, "I'll be back." And I kind of gave it a British accent when I was talking in the voice of Jesus. But like I said, that period I was talking about, 1844, all these major religions really believed God was going to send a manifestation. I do know this, when in Baha'u'llah's writings, when he talks about when a manifestation appears, wherever he's from, he's almost rejected the most. And I think Jesus experienced that from being from Nazareth. I think sometimes wherever a manifestation is from, that group almost treats him the worst. So
There's a lot of people who don't believe in God too. That's another thing, you know. That's one thing that frightens me is like, why would people not take any interest in God? You know, He's the one that created us here.
Yeah. Well, some of them have grown up with God, and some have grown up without God. I almost understand the ones that have been grown up without God, meaning they haven't been taught about God at all. The ones that I almost can understand those ones more than the ones that were actually raised with God. So I am kind of surprised that someone can grow up being raised with God and then later down the road say they don't believe in God anymore. So that's kind of wild. But I think
Yeah,
some of those can be explained because sometimes they're treated badly from actually people from the church. And so they get turned off from religion. And so then they give up. The bad thing about they're judging God, they're judging God off of the believers, right? So
yeah,
if the believers aren't doing the right thing, that could turn people off from religion in general. And there
yeah.
seems to
I
be a
agree.
lot of people in that boat, I guess. But what I try to tell people is don't judge Jesus by Christians and vice versa. Don't judge Baha'u'llah by Baha'is. And if you're Jewish, don't judge Jewish people. Don't judge Moses by how Jewish people are, And if in the case of Islam, I would tell people don't judge the Prophet Muhammad. Don't judge the Prophet Muhammad by the believers who believe in Muhammad. So, um, uh, but what's funny, there's a golden rule that goes through all the major religions, and it's about just treating your fellow man right. And how can you say you love God if you're treating your fellow man wrong? And all the world religions have that in them. You know what I mean? Even Buddhism has that in them. Buddhism often talks about. I mean, I'm not a Buddhist, but I've read a lot of different Buddhist writings, and I've
Yeah,
read a lot of different Christian writings as well. And in the Christian Bible, it definitely talks about you can't say you love God and then be hating on your fellow man. You can't. Um, those two things won't jive if you're doing that. So, but I will say this: it's not easy to love people unconditionally. That's not an easy thing to do. If it was, everyone would do it. But I do feel God does want us to love our fellow man unconditionally. I like feel that in my bones, that you
I
do
like
have.
to feel God's love too. You know, I like to feel it.
Hmm.
You know, it's like,
Right.
I know God loves all of us because He created us to be in His image. And
Hmm.
He created all of us. But
My
I love all that.
my wife's Roman Catholic, and I remember when I bought The Passion of the Christ on DVD. And man, dude,
That movie was so sad.
Adrian, she could not watch it because she said it was too personal. But I realized why
Yeah,
Mel Gibson did it. He wanted to really show the agony that Christ had went through for humanity,
yeah,
and but I understood why my wife couldn't. But I tell you what, when I rewatch that movie, I get emotional every time I watch it, and I just and then I can't help not think of that part of Scripture where it says we were healed by His stripes. The whipping He received and the beating
yeah.
and. Uh,
And the sword stabbed me to his heart too. Of
right,
course, you know.
right, that too. And so, but yeah,
That
that's why they call it
I've
the
seen that
Passion.
movie before, and
Yeah,
it makes me
yeah,
when I see how they do that to Jesus,
right,
I start tearing up. I'm like, man,
right.
why did I was saying to myself, why would they want to do such a terrible punishment to someone who's actually trying to do something,
Or
to preach
who's
the gospel.
or who's actually innocent, right? I think
Yeah, and an innocent person too,
right,
actually, and
right.
also innocent.
I think part of it is we got to remember the religion of his day, right? It
Yeah,
was Judaism, and in Judaism, you know, nobody is allowed to put themselves equal to God in Judaism, right? And so that was a big no. So he did that, and then uh, I Baha'is would explain it this way: if you look at my hand, you can pretend this is Jesus' body, and it seemed like those people that didn't recognize Christ, they were only looking at the body, right? They weren't
Yeah.
really listening to what he was saying, and of course, those Jewish people that became his disciples, they were really listening to what Jesus was saying. Where the other people that weren't recognized it looked at him as a threat to power, and he was a threat to the Jewish people, and he was also a threat to the Roman state. And so, yeah, even though Jesus was talking a lot of love, they still looked at him as a threat, to power.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, that's the only way you can describe it. You know what I mean? They were really afraid to give up their power, you know. But I didn't realize there was before Jesus showed up on the scene, there were some other people that were trying to claim the same title that Christ was claiming. I didn't realize there was such a fervor about that. But yeah, like I said, the powers that rose against him I think it was, they felt like their power was going to be usurped or taken away, or
Yeah.
so. But yeah, I still get emotional whenever I rewatch that movie. It's super emotional movie.
Yeah. But it's a good movie, though. Mel Gibson, he put a lot of time into that movie.
One of my favorite scenes is when they were bringing this woman to be stoned in front of Jesus, and before Jesus gives an answer, of course, we only because I watched the documentary, the background, we know whose hand that was, but basically in the movie it's showing Jesus writing in the sand, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't say what he wrote, but I speculate, right? I'm speculating if he maybe wrote the sins of the guys that were thinking about casting the stone at the lady. But I don't know. The Bible doesn't even say what he wrote on the ground. But he did write something on the ground. Then he stood up and said, of course, he who's without sin cast the first stone. And then slowly but surely, the woman's left by herself. And then he tells her, woman, where have your accusers? And then she said, they're all gone. And then he tells her to go, and, she's forgiven, but just go and sin no more.
Yeah, I've
And,
seen that part in that movie. Because in that part he goes, go, but sin no more, that's because because apparently that lady had committed adultery or something like that,
Right. But isn't it funny that they only brought her? They didn't bring the person also who she
They didn't bring
supposedly.
the other person that she committed adultery with.
That's a little unfair, isn't it?
Yeah, it's unfair.
Yeah.
It's like I was watching the movie like, okay, they brought the woman that was committing adultery. How come they didn't bring the guy she was doing that
Right.
to?
Exactly. Another part I love in the Bible. Now this isn't in the Passion of Christ, but it's in the Bible. Jesus walks up to this well and asks for some water, right? And this woman's afraid to give it because she's not from the right tribe, right?
Yeah.
And so Jesus asks again, right? And then he looks, she's still hesitant to give him some water. And then Jesus says, woman, if you knew who was asking, you would be giving this water. Like, I'm paraphrasing real bad because I don't have the Bible in front of me. So she does give him the water. And I think when Jesus is drinking the water, all of a sudden she recognizes who Jesus is. And then all of a sudden she doesn't care that they're from different tribes,
My favorite part in that movie would probably be like, the Last Supper that Jesus, says that the bread is the body, and then the chalice of blood. That would be
that's
my
pretty
favorite
cool.
part because, Jesus Christ is declaring that this is, that the bread is His body, which be given up for everybody. Then the chalice of I hear this in church all the time.
Right.
When the priest is doing his service thing,
Yeah.
I
you're
remember some of the prayer stuff in
right.
there. So
Yeah, you're always the neat thing about the mass, you're always remembering the Last Supper, which is really cool. It's the last intimate moment he had with his disciples
before
in the up
surrendering himself,
right in the upper room. That's what's so neat about the mass because I grew up Roman Catholic. I
I grew
almost
up Catholic too. So
I was going to become a Catholic priest, and I met with this one guy. His name was Father Paul Cutter, and the plan was I was going to get rid of all my debt, and I was going to have my parish sponsor me to then go off to theology school. But towards the last end of my meeting, I changed my mind, and I told this priest I felt so bad. I said, I don't think God's calling me to be a priest. I think I think God wants me to get married one of these days. And I felt so
I've
bad.
had people tell me, like, I've had people approach me and they'll be like, Adrian, you should become a priest. You'd make a good priest and all this other stuff. I'm
Mhm.
like, you know what? That's a dream of mine. Hopefully soon I could try to do something like that. But,
Right. It's a
it's just you have to go through a lot. It takes a
yeah.
lot.
Well, long story short, I didn't even come close to going to theology school because I stopped meeting with this priest that looks like Dave Leverin. One, because I told him I don't think God's calling me to be a priest. I think He's calling me to get married one of these days. And then I ended up marrying a good Catholic girl, and I'm still been married to her for 29 years. So, um,
Yeah.
but I do admire the priests and nuns that do give their lives up for God. I do admire them for that. I do think it is a calling. I know
Yeah, well,
one.
God has callings for everybody. He
Oh,
does.
dude, I know these two people. They were on their last vow. One was on their last vow to become a nun. The other one was on their last vow to become a priest. And they end up falling in love and not joining their religious orders. So that's kind of wild. I don't know how often that happens, but that kind
Well,
of blew me away when I heard that.
the priests, like in the Catholic faith, they can't get married.
Hmm.
They can't get married. But once they're, if they were, they'd have to, like, either
Yep.
step down as a priest,
Yeah.
just to do something like that. They'd have to step down as a
Yeah.
priest.
Now, I didn't realize this. There have been some people who've been married to someone for a long time, and then the person they're married to passes away, right? And
Right.
then they end up joining a religious order. Some of them become nuns and some of them become priests. And what's neat about that, they've had a life before they've joined either a priest or nun. And then they can actually tell lay people that they understand because they've had a life before rejoining a religious order. So that's interesting. That's
Yeah.
pretty wild. Well, hey, Adrian, I'm going to wrap this up, my man.
Yeah. I'm kind of sleepy already myself too. So,
Cool.
you
Thanks for
know,
thanks for
yeah, I'm glad I could
co-hosting.
join you tonight, brother. I'm glad I could join you.
Oh man, anytime, man. Anytime I'm on live stream, come on up.
Yeah, of course. So before you end your live, guys, October 29th, I'm having I'm dedicating a live stream to wrestling history. So
Woo,
everybody is
woo, woo.
invited to come on down.
Cool. And that say the date again.
October 29th at 9 a.m. my time here in Texas. So
Cool.
start it in the morning and go for about at least 2 hours of talking about wrestling history, get to learn
Wow.
the wrestling business the way I know it and how I've seen it and everything. So
Oh, that sounds cool.
it's going to be fun.
That sounds super cool.
So yeah,
All right.
I already have it scheduled already. So everybody's welcome to come out, hear some wrestling history and, listen to, documentary stuff that I know on all wrestlers who have been in the wrestling sport. So,
All right.
it's going to be very cool.
All right, my brother. That sounds cool, man.
All right. Well, I'm out of here. I'm going to go tuck myself into bed. I'm tired. I worked today and I'm very tired. So
Take care, my brother.
you too, my brother. You have a good night
Peace.
there and God bless you and be safe, man.
Cheers, man. Have a good night.
Cheers.
Peace. All right, Adrian. That was cool. So thanks to Adrian for co-hosting with me. Also, let me put the other name up that co-hosted with me. Thanks to And thanks to Survival, thanks to the gentleman on Survival Channel that co-hosted with me as well. And thank you, Brother Adrian, for co-hosting with me. This is your boy JR, aka Lone Wolf Bushcraft. Thanks for those of you who stayed with me, or thanks to everyone in the chat. And thanks to all of you who may rewatch this stream, you guys and gals of rock. I'll talk to you later. Take care, everyone. Peace. And if you like the content you see, make sure you give me a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video, or I'll see you in the next live stream. Take care, everyone. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, and have a good night. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Later, Gators. And like I said, I'll see you in the next video or in the next live stream. Take care, everyone. Peace. Later, Gators. Cheers. Later.